What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I'm joined alongside my co-hosts, my partners in crime, Brock Davis, Nate Green. Fellas, Nate, your laggy internet, we're gonna have to work with it tonight, so we're not even gonna talk to you at the moment. Brock, how you doing?
Doing all right. Just getting through a rough couple of hours with the Sunday night baseball broadcast that wasn't super enjoyable listening to, and the Astros showing us that they're daddy in a elite organization and why they are.
I'll say this: I think Angels Astros like a playoff matchup would be a lot of fun. I think that like it just kind of showed what it could be. However, I don't think it's gonna happen, but it'd be a fun like last this whole series right here. I know a lot of both teams are pretty hurt, but both teams battled, both teams fought, and it was actually a pretty good series, I thought, from a fan perspective. I know Angel fans aren't gonna like it very much because there's a chance they probably could have should have swept. They probably could have should have got swept. They could have taken two or three as well. So Nate, how you doing? You okay down there, Mr. Glitch?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of funny, you ride the wave all weekend of like, hey, this thing is going well. Oh wait, we lost. Oh wait, we have a shot to win. And no, like it just went back and forth all weekend where it was like, hey, we got a shot to win this game. Oh wait, we're getting blown out. Oh wait, no, we can win this. It just kind of went back and forth all weekend. So lots of fun. And of course, typical Angel fashion. So
It was a roller coaster ride. It was, yeah. That's all I got to say. Nate, you and I talked about it before. We think they got to win 5 to 7 games, maybe more.
5 out of 6.
Yep.
And then I think we said 7 of 9.
Six of 9 or 7 of 9 in this homestand to be buyers or sellers. So let's actually kind of get this rolling here and talk about that. I want to prepare us for the Angels being buyers. You never know. I thought they played decent baseball this series. I thought that they were outmanaged. I thought that they were out scouted. I thought that I mean, basically what kind of the Astros do in general is just outdo everybody. So, with that being said, the Yankees come to town. The Yankees have kind of been struggling a little bit. You never know. They, might, yeah, I don't know. Might take a couple from the Yankees. The Angels have played the Yankees well in the past. So let's play the hypothetical game. Let's play the Angels might possibly be buyers here at the trade deadline, because you never know what's going to happen. Nate, I'll start with you. What do the Angels need to do if they are buyers?
You got to get a dude on the bump. Like it's 100%. You got to get a guy who you trust in a postseason series right now. The way Sandoval's throwing the ball, you don't really trust him in a postseason series unless it's a game 4, and even there, you're like holding your breath every time he throws a pitch. Detmers has been kind of up and down. Like you're fine with him as a 3, but you're still an underdog in that game most likely. And then Tyler Anderson, he'll be lucky to make the roster. Like that's honestly what it looks like when you start to really dive into this pitching staff. So you got to go get a dude. You just have to. Lucas Giolito, Jack Flaherty. There's a bunch of names that are going to be out there. You got to go get somebody who can pitch in a postseason game, and you're not going to have to worry about like, oh well, I hope he gets me through 4, because that's kind of what your starting rotation will do in a postseason series. Is like, I hope he gets me through 4. That's that's best case the way that the Angels have been pitching lately.
Yeah, and I'm trying to go around the league here and find some teams really that the Angels could buy from and get. I wouldn't say they need a dude. I just think they need somebody who's a reliable pitcher for them. Um, I mean, I wouldn't mind a dude, but where the
I,
Angels are, where they sit right now, I'm not in on if they are buying and they are a 500 team, then I'm not in on them going and buying a dude like a Corbin Burns, like that type of guy. I know Flaherty probably won't cost you all that much. Lucas Giolito probably costs you an arm, maybe not an arm and a leg. And you look around the league a little bit more. I mean, you go to Detroit and maybe you can pull off a guy like Eduardo Rodriguez, who has some years of
he's gonna opt out.
Yeah, I mean, you could trade for a guy like that. The Angels have done it before in like a Justin Upton scenario with the Tigers as well. So you could, you could try to trade for a Eduardo Rodriguez guy. I mean, you look at the White Sox, like you already mentioned, Lucas Giolito. You missed Lance Lynn as well, um, who's
I don't
interesting.
Lance Lynn's fine, but he doesn't really move the needle enough for me. I think if you really want to be a real playoff force and not just a participant, and right now they're not even participants in the postseason. It's just more of like,
Well, you got to become a
uh,
participant. That's the thing.
yeah, yeah, and I don't think Lance Lynn moves the needle for that. You're really like, if you really want to be a participant that moves the needle, you have to go get a dude, and like Max Scherzer or Corbin Burns. I don't even know if Jack Flaherty or Lucas Giolito is enough to move the needle, but I do think that you could probably work something out with the White Sox where you get Tim Anderson, Lucas Giolito, and you move Tim Anderson to second base, and just hopefully that he plays a lot better as an Angel because he's in a little bit different of an environment. But like that's what's going to move the needle, not this. Oh, we traded for Drew Smiley or fill in the blank. Like Jordan Montgomery doesn't really move the needle for me either, and that's another guy that's going to be available. So you got to go move. You got to get someone who's really going to make this team competitive. And here's the other thing that I'm going to bring up when talking about the postseason. How many games in a 5-game series? How many times can Shohei Ohtani pitch?
He's a unicorn. He probably pitches 5 games, right?
Once, maybe twice, right? Like he doesn't typically throw on 4 days rest. So it would be really, really helpful to have a guy like Max Scherzer or Corbin Burns who could throw game 1 and game 5 and let Ohtani pitch game 2 and game 1 of the next series. Or actually it would be game 1 and game 1 and game 1 because of the 3-game set. But yeah, that's what you need, is someone who's going to be able to do that, because we haven't seen Ohtani do it, and to expect him to throw on short rest in the postseason after throwing all year long and hitting all year long, and you're going to expect him to be the number 1 hitter on the team and the number 1 pitcher on the team, you're in for a rude awakening, because that hasn't happened. He's never done it before. So why are we going to expect him to do something he's never done before? So go out and get a guy that's going to make this thing worth it. But I don't even think they should, honestly. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to buy, you got to buy. You can't play this, oh, well, we bought Jordan Montgomery and, we gave up nothing for him and he pitched to a 4 ERA and it was like good, but not good enough. It's like, then you're just pretenders. And then you just wasted Shohei Ohtani. So, yeah.
I agree with you, Nate. The question was not, are they buyers or sellers? We've talked about this in the past. I already know. If they were buyers, which, like I said, they showed some fight in this Astros series. They showed some promise, especially with a team that's been, fairly banged up as of late. Especially now, you have a guy like Tyler Anderson who seems to have hurt himself as well. Only through those 3 innings, didn't throw well, but only through those 3 innings could have been a cramp. So you need something. Brock, I'll turn to you. What do you think the Angels need?
I mean, it's hard not to stay on the same track as Nate. The offense I think is there, like even with Trout not being in the lineup and Neto just barely coming back, and Moustakas is starting to look good at the plate, even especially tonight. He had hard hit balls. Renfro, I think, just kind of spotty. Ward had the 3-run double tonight. I don't think offense really has been our problem. I don't know the straight up statistics of it, but I don't think, especially of late, the starting rotation has been struggling. I think it was like a 9 ERA over the last like 7 or 8 games or something like that. I don't remember what the amount of games is, but I would love to see a workhorse, just like Nate said, but I'm going to go like a Marcus Stroman. He's 6th in the league in innings pitched right now. I think he's got like a 2.78 or 2.88 ERA, somewhere in that range. And he's got that fire that I think that, you look at the Astros when Kyle Tucker hits the homer, you look at the Astros when Bregman hit the homer. Like, they have the fire. And I think that we've definitely had an increase in passion this year in comparison to the last few, but it's still not there. I still feel like deep down in some of their minds on the Angels team, it's like, we're not quite there yet. And so I think we just need to keep adding guys that are going to be workhorses or dogs, or have that fire in them. And Stroman's been able to put up the innings. I don't think the Cubs are going to really have a chance at the playoffs this year. Heard a lot of rumors about Bellinger getting moved, so why not Stroman as well? I can't think of off the top of my head how his contract is structured, but I think he might have an opt-out after this season. I'm not positive on that. Another name to throw around, which I'm not 100% sure where the Pirates are standing, because they're bringing up a lot of young talent, but Mitch Keller might be might be someone to keep an eye on. It's all just going to depend on how the Pirates want to go about their business, because they brought up Henry Davis that they just called up. I think his name's Ellie Rodriguez. He was another top prospect of theirs that they called up yesterday or today. So I don't know if they're going to be sellers. I listen to a few other baseball podcasts, and as far as the Cardinals go, their front office is making it sound like they're not going to be sellers, because they said that the only moves we are going to be making is going to put us in a better winning position in 2024. So if that's the case, I don't anticipate them selling their big pieces like the Arenado, the Goldschmidt, the Flaherty's, stuff like
Well,
that.
Flaherty's a free agent at the end of the year, so is Montgomery.
Oh, he is.
So yeah,
Okay,
both
cool.
those guys
Yeah.
are. So
I mean,
those guys
Flaherty
make
being
sense. The
picture then.
Goldschmidts, the Arenados, I don't think are going anywhere. But
Yeah,
the Flaherty's and the Montgomerys, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
I
that
think
makes sense.
they're 100%. And Stroman does have the player option next year. He has mentioned that he would like to sign a long-term deal in Chicago, which always scares me, because you run the risk of the Aroldis Chapman thing happening to you, where you trade a big time prospect and they go re-sign him. But if you can convince him to stay, then it's worth it, because I think the Cubs are going to trade him like he is a Cub next year, and not trade him like he's Jack Flaherty, where he's got 1 year left. That's
Right.
my only issue with Stroman, but I do like Stroman.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, for anything, and you already mentioned it to Nate, and we're beating a dead horse here, but this is all hypotheticals, because I think I don't really want them to be buyers. So this is going to be tough, because framing these deals in my head for the guys that I would like to see come, we have to give up a lot for, and I just don't think we're in the position to do that. So it's hard for me to picture these deals in my head, because I don't think they make sense.
Yeah, and I agree with both you guys. I think the Angels need a starter for sure. Here's what I think the Angels need, and this is kind of why, because I do have some stats here. Angels first off need to get healthy. I know that's kind of like a weird thing to say, but you add, and this has always been, this is what worries me too with the Angels, and if they stand pat, you add a guy like Mike Trout back, who's going to be getting healthy. You add a guy like, I don't know, Anthony Rendon back, who hopefully stays healthy. He's had some weird fluke injuries this year. You add a guy maybe like Logan O'Hoppe back, and all of a sudden you have 3 pieces without trading anybody in the farm system.
You still have Drury too.
You could do something like that, yes. Oh yeah, and you have, oh my bad, yes. You said you sell Drury too.
No, you still have Drury.
Yes, Drury as well coming off. So you add 4 guys like that back into the team, and it's like, wow, that's like a boost of
how long can you wait on that though?
I know exactly. Like that is my biggest fear though.
Like what happens if you play the game with Trout and it's like, oh, we're gonna stay put, and Trout's out 8 to 10 weeks instead of 4 to 6 weeks.
Exactly. No, I agree with that. I said, Nate, we're buyers right now. Okay. Like don't put that in my head. We're buyers. You look at F4 rankings this year, Fangraphs 4 rankings this year. Angels catchers tied for 11th. First baseman tied for 12th. Second baseman 13th. Shortstop 18th. You just got Neto back, so that kind of helps in a sense there. One of the best rookie shortstops in baseball. Third base 25th. You kind of have patched it. You've filled some holes there. You hope you get a guy like Rendon back, which fills that hole, and you hope he stays healthy. Angels outfield has been fantastic. Left field's third in all of baseball. Center field is first with Moniak and Trout, who have been fantastic as well out there. Right field is fifth. Starting pitching is 14th. We already mentioned it. You think the Angels need to get at least a starter. That is talking, starting pitching wise in the playoffs as well. Like that helps them get to the playoffs, but that also helps in the playoffs. Now, where I think they need the most help, and we saw it this series against the Astros, is the bullpen. And the bullpen is what wins games in the playoffs. We've seen this before in years past. We saw this last year with the Astros. The Astros only had to pitch 5 innings. Starters only had to pitch 5 innings, right? 6 innings realistically. And then they went
threw
7, 8, 9, and it was
They went 7, but it's okay.
you get what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, so to play devil's advocate to my argument of they need bullpen, the starting pitching also went 6, 7 innings, setting the bullpen up nicely. The offense also did their thing for the Astros. That's how you win a World Series. You know, it all has to come together at the right time. Came together really nicely for the Astros at the right time. Starting pitching was fantastic. The offense was fantastic. The bullpen was fantastic last year. The Angels are tied for 24th in all of baseball in Fangraphs WAR with the bullpen. They've used numerous pieces, and again, I think that has a lot to do with the way they've used those pieces. We saw it tonight against the Astros. Carlos Estevez coming in the 8th inning, a guy who's said like Raisel Iglesias that he likes to pitch in that 9th inning. He feels comfortable in that 9th inning. They played the analytics game, guys, and I'm fine with that because they've said they wanted to play the analytics game. You face 2, 3, 4. You face the meat of their order. I don't know if it was 2, 3, 4, but you face the meat of their.
It was
2, 3,
Bregman
4.
Tucker.
Yeah, you face the meat of their order. He gave up a 2-run home. He gave up the 2-run home run there to what's his name?
McCormick again.
McCormick again to the exact same spot. I mean, McCormick should just freaking live out there. The Angels need to put somebody in the stands because that's where he hits the ball every single time against them. But they played the analytics game and it slightly worked for him. I wouldn't have put Estevez in there. I think Estevez is that.
It didn't work at all.
But do you trust the guy like Berea in the 8th? And even more so that we're having this argument about Berea being there in the 8th is more so of a reason why the Angels need to get healthy, because Ben Joyce would be fantastic in that situation. And they need some help in the bullpen because Jaime Berea should not be pitching in a save situation, and he shouldn't be pitching in the 8th inning against 2, 3, 4 either. So I think that they need a lot of bullpen help.
You would have been better if Matt Moore was
healthy.
Was more healthy.
Could have been that guy.
Because Moore is coming back off the injured list, and you're gonna ease him back in and let him throw once during this series. Like if he was healthy, he probably throws today in the 8th inning, and he just goes in, does his thing, probably out of the inning without a run, and then who knows? Maybe Berea still pitches the 9th up 4, but
I don't know. I think Berea in a situation that you're up 4 or more runs, or you're down 4 or more runs, or you're down in one of those situations, that's fine. But the fact that we're talking about Berea being in a high leverage situation is not what you want. Again, you mentioned Matt Moore.
What analytics are you looking at too? If you're like,
the only analytics I need is that the Astros scored 8 of their runs 7th or later tonight. That's all I mentioned.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying, like, what analytics are they looking at? Jaime Berea is 0 for 4 in save opportunities in his career with 4 blown saves.
And Tucker smashes them, which he wasn't due up in the inning. But
Nate, you mentioned it. We mentioned off the record. You were hoping for a 1, 2, 3 inning there from Estevez against one of the best 2, 3, 4s.
But you knew that he didn't throw a 1, 2, 3 inning.
Yeah,
like it wasn't like, oh no, we get like it wasn't like Estevez went out there for the 9th and gave up like base it, and it was like, oh crap, Jaime's the first guy who's going to get loose. You're in. Like you already knew Estevez gave up the 2-run tank. You already knew who was coming up in the inning, and you still went to a guy who's 0 for 4 and 4.
I would have thrown Estevez back out there because I don't think he threw very many pitches. What, he threw 15 pitches or something like that?
I think it was even less. I thought it was like 13.
Yeah, something like that. He threw the night before. I still throw Estevez out there because he's your best option there in the 9th.
Do we remember what the 3 due up were in the 9th?
I was like,
it was 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
7,
it
8,
was
9,
Myers, Kessinger, and Maldonado, and then pinch hit for Myers, let Kessinger hit, and pinch hit for Maldonado.
Bring it full circle here, guys. This is again something we've been preaching this entire year. I don't want to beat the horse. The Angels, if hypothetically are buyers, it's a lot that they need to go get. Let's bring it back in here. It's a lot they need to go get. They need to go get a starting pitcher. They need to get healthy. They need to get some bullpen help, and they might need another piece in the as like an infield piece. I don't want to see Andrew Velasquez go back out there. Luis Renifo is really struggling. He's having some on-field issues. He's gotten pulled from a game, and things like that. So it's really tough to see. I know losing does that as well. Losing creates a negative vibe in the clubhouse as well.
So does a 56 OPS plus from Squid that he has.
Exactly.
It was day one after the
exactly.
All-Star break too. Like, how can you be defeated after that? Like,
Yeah. You got to come back out recharged. Regardless, that's fine. There's a lot of pieces the Angels need to buy. I don't think they do, but prepare yourselves for that. I mean, there's only 3 options that they can do. They can either sell, they can buy, or they can stand pat. I'm worried about the standing pat and the buying. It would be interesting to see what happens when they sell, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But buying is reasonable, especially with them getting healthy. If they think they can push for that playoff spot, this homestand has a lot to do with it. Nate, I know you're questioning it. And standing pat could be a real possibility as well, especially if Artie Moreno doesn't want to trade Shohei Ohtani. With that being said, I asked this on Twitter a couple days ago. I went down and kind of said trade, sell, or trade, keep, or extend. And we're going to go over that list. I want easy answers. I don't want discussions. We don't have too much time. Let's start with Shohei Ohtani. Brock, trade, keep, or extend?
Trade.
Nate?
Trade.
I'm saying trade him. Trade him, and then you go and try to extend him in the offseason.
Whoa. We don't get any words after that. You get one word.
That's fine. Mike Trout, trade or keep? You're thinking about Mike Trout. So Nate, Mike Trout,
keep.
Trade or keep?
Keep.
Brock, don't think about it.
There's
there's not a lot of value there. The contract's tough, and
he's not even
healthy. Contract. What?
Yeah, I don't think it's realistic he gets traded. I mean, if we could get something decent back for him, sure, trade. But I also hate the thought of it because Ohtani, it's like, okay, he's been here. This is 6th year, okay, but Trout's like our Griffey, man. It sucked to see him go. He's supposed to be our franchise guy. So that's the kind of thing that bums me out about it. But for the better future of our franchise, trade him.
Hunter Renfroe, trade, keep, and qualifier offer him, or extend him. Nate, I'll start with you. That's a tough one, isn't it?
Well, yes, because you don't know where you're getting a return for him. So, like, I would trade him, but if I'm not getting a value of a 1st-round pick in return, then I just keep him and qualifying offer him. I doubt he would take it. But if I'm getting 1st-round value for him, I trade him.
Sorry. Brock, trade, keep,
same
thing.
Same answer.
I'm keeping him and QOing him because I don't think the Angels get a 1st round anywhere near what they'd get for a 1st rounder. Plus I want to have a little bit more fun in the draft. So Matt Moore, Brock, trade, keep, or extend?
I don't know. I really like him, but I feel like if we're just going to scrap the team, I feel like his value is pretty decent where it's at right now. So I feel like we could get some good for him. So I'm going to say trade him.
8.
Trade him.
I say trade as well there. We're getting into the tougher ones here, a little bit more team control. Nate, I'll start with you. Patrick Sandoval, trade, keep, or extend?
I'm keeping him because I don't think he's pitched good enough to trade him right now. And I'm not extending him because, again, he hasn't pitched well enough for that.
Brock?
I'm going to say trade him depending on what you can get back. Kind of the same track as Nate, just opposite answer.
I like it. I'd debate about extending him to a very team friendly. I'd entertain it. If not, I'm keeping him for now and seeing, where it takes you because he is a building piece.
I mean, he wouldn't be a bad 4-5 in a good rotation.
No, he's a good pitcher. He's a very good pitcher. You just got to figure out you need to come full circle. You need him there mentally for 32 starts. Nate Griffin Canning, trade, keep, extend.
I'm fine trading him. Honestly, I think you already have a 5-starter in Tyler Anderson, and I think his value can't be higher than it is right now. And he's only got 1 year left of control after this year, so you might as well.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. I say trade him just because he does become a free agent after this year, and I think he's pitched well enough that you get something decently good in return for him. Brock, what do you got?
Trade.
Sweet, love it. Brandon Drury, trade or keep? Nate.
This is the toughest one you've given, just because, again, if you're getting something in return that is way over asking price, you do it. But you have to be getting something over asking price. If you're asking for a top 100 prospect and someone's going to go top 100 prospect and another top 10er, then yeah, absolutely, which you're not getting. But if someone's like that desperate for a Brandon Drury type bat, absolutely. But I'm not trading him unless somebody is desperate
Because I think he's part of the team, the building of the
for
team
next year.
Yeah, I do. I think it's an interesting piece there at second and first base. So I'm saying keep him unless they're wowed. Brock, what do you got?
Was he a 2 or 3 year deal?
Two.
I thought I remember it being 3.
2 for 16.
I like Drury, and I feel like we got him at a pretty good price.
17?
I think it was 14 AAV.
I thought it was 17.
2080 year. 30
No,
something.
no.
Regardless. Go ahead, Brock.
I think it was 2 years, 28. That sounds right to me.
That
might be wrong, but
right.
I feel like we got him at a pretty decent price in comparison to market value. He had a slow start, but I like him. Unless Nate, like he said, unless we get a big overpay, I like him. I think we can keep him.
2 for 17.
2 for 17. Gotcha. Oh, 2 for 17 total?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean,
8.5.
That's crazy.
Eduardo Escobar. Brock, I'll start with you. Trade, keep, extend.
How many years of control left do we have of him? Do you know?
0.
Last year?
He is a free agent.
I mean, honestly, I don't feel like it's going to hurt us either way. So I say trade him.
Nate?
I think you have a lot of value in him because it costs major league minimum, so 0. Or trade him.
Yep. I'm with you on that one. I think you trade him if you're in that trade. This is going to be the toughest one here for you guys. Brock, I'll start with you. I was debating it. I don't know who I want to go with here. Brock, I'll start with you. Carlos Estevez.
Ooh. How many years left?
One same as Brandon Drury.
Yep. He's an all-star.
I'm going to say keep him.
Keeping him?
Depending on package. That's the hardest part about all this stuff is it's like,
I'm not asking about package. I'm just asking trade or keep him. I mean, say you're getting a good return for him.
I feel like every single one of these things depends on so many other factors, but I'm going to say keep him because I think depending on some of the pieces we could get for some of the other things we can trade for, then, might be able to put something together next year.
Nate?
People might think that this is in the moment, but I'm trading him. I don't think his value can be any higher than it is right now. And bullpen is so volatile, and we've seen him be very good, and we've seen him be very, very bad in his time in Colorado. So I'm trading him. I think somebody's desperate enough for a back end guy, the Dodgers, the Marlins, somebody like that who thinks they have a shot of winning.
I always said you have to build around the bullpen, or not build around the bullpen, but you need a good bullpen. I'm agreeing with you. I'm trading any bullpen pieces that you possibly can. So I'm trading Carlos Estevez here. Nate, I'll start with you here. Mike Moustakas.
I think he gets DFA'd. I don't think anybody trades for him, honestly. And I know that sounds weird, but I'm DFAing him, giving him a chance to go play for a winner, opening up a spot.
An option, trade, keep, extend.
DFA.
All right. Brock, what do you got?
This is rock, paper, scissors, bro. I'm going to try to trade him.
Bring a grenade to rock, paper, scissors.
Since DFA is not an option, I guess, apparently.
No, it's not an option. Okay, last one might be a tough one here. Taylor Ward, the baseball player. Brock, I'll start with you. I got a couple minutes left.
How many more years?
3? 2 or 3. Let's go. Let's say 2.
2027.
Say 2. Let's say 2. That's what math are you doing? 2027?
Oh, 2026.
I'm going to say trade him. I'm going to say trade him.
Are we 2026?
2023. So he's got 3 years left.
I'm going to say trade him because I think with that years of control and upside, and I think another team is going to turn him into more of a beast than he can be with us. I'm going to say trade him. I think we get some good package or a good package back.
Nate?
I'm keeping him. It is 3, by the way. I did just look. I'm keeping him because he is a free agent in 2027. So I was right there. My math was wrong.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm keeping him because I don't think his value is high enough to move him. I think we let him play out in September. Hopefully he mashes, and then you can make a decision in the offseason if you want to move him.
Taylor Ward, I'm keeping him because the Angels finally have depth in the outfield. You got a guy like Joe Adell. You got a guy like looks like Trey Cabbage looking pretty decent. I know 1 game in, but I mean that's fun, man. I like seeing guys like that that do well in one of their first starts. So Mickey Moniak has looked fantastic. You're losing Hunter Renfroe. You don't want to lose another piece unless you're getting something big back. So I'm saying keep him. And he's been good. And he's been good here in the last, let's say, 30 games or so. He's played a lot better. So fantastic. I love playing this game with you guys. We'll probably continue to play it. Probably not. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. You can follow us on all our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Timms, Nate at NateGreen34, Brock at BDROX8. Guys, thank you again so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.